Hello everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day. Today we have an awesome house divided campaign for you. It should be a good one. We're covering one of the two battles that are happening in this campaign for today. The first map, Bullover Heights Camp, you're getting an overview of that right now. And secondly, you're getting an overview of Harvest Ferry Graveyard. For your information, the Union campaign teams will be playing CSA all today, and the CSA campaign team will be playing Union today. And speaking of which, the Union campaign that will be playing CSA is the 8th Ohio, 3rd New Jersey, 17th Michigan, 3rd U.S. Old Guard, 1st U.S. Sharpshooters, 5th U.S., 83rd Pennsylvania, 10th U.S., and the 7th Mass. Whereas on the Confederacy, you have I Corps, 24th Georgia, and the Pickett's Brigade that's playing Union today. So this is the overview of the campaign as we see both battles happening on the left side of this campaign, which you can see on the right image there. On the left image, you get a closer view of where the battles are. So the battle we're focusing on today is the 17th Michigan / the 3rd New Jersey versus Pickett's Brigade. And the other battle is the 1st U.S. Sharpshooters and 2nd U.S.R. versus 2nd Mississippi. Anyways, I hope you enjoy. And here we go with our first round for the House Divided campaign on Boulevard Heights Camp. It should be a good one. We're focusing on the skirmish map tonight. We're not going to be focusing on the conquest one, and we'll see how that goes later. But besides that, both teams desperately moving out, moving quickly, trying to get to the corner to hold there. Your team for tonight, by the way, is myself as Garden Eagle announcing with that one, Savvy. How's it going, Savvy?
I'm doing great. I mean, I just had dinner. I'm sitting here fully satiated. Well, last time we played this map, it was a fun one on that European event. So I want to see how well they're able to do this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. Both teams rushing for that corner. I'm going to quickly get out of the spectator view and go back in because it's a little bad on my end. We'll just fix that up quickly. Okay, it looks a little better, so that'll do. And it didn't miss much, though, as both teams continued to move up.
Yes, so it looks like the Confederate plan is to get a little bit further in the woods to the right than we usually see. A lot of people don't see the perspective from right here is what we usually see from the sky, but you can't really see from the ground, is that there's a big cliff off to the Confederate left. In real life, this would be a very hard position to assault from because you could just have a line of 10 men there, or 100 men, and that wouldn't be anything. But in War of Rights, a line of 100 men is your entire team, so they can't really do much to stop a move like this. So these guys are moving on the side of the cliff. Looks like headed by 5th U.S. Looks like the entire team is coming this direction. And yeah, so the 83rd, the 5th, and they're about to meet off against these guys who don't even know that they're there. 1st U.S. Engagement starting at like 5 yards, both sides shooting their fucking Model 1841 Mississippis at point blank range. We can see the 5th U.S. and the 1st Corps engaged. However, the 1st Corps don't know that everyone else is behind them.
I've never seen the Union push out this far on this map.
Yeah, really, this rock formation is a little bit further than what we saw in the other events where people are holding right there, right there. This is an extra 10-20 yards on what we usually see. You can see that they're shooting at each other so close.
Historically, what is the USA defense on this map? What usually does the USA do?
Well, they surrendered. I think if there were any... If the Confederates are able to get this close to the Union embankments, you knew that it would be bad. But the Union surrendered a while before they ever got to this point. Of course, the Union did not know that they had almost equal numbers to the portion of Lee's army that was attacking them. They believed that they were outnumbered by a long shot, which is partially contributing to why they surrendered. But they could have easily pushed out further, but they really reduced themselves. Like, these are not a bad line of defenses, but they just let themselves get pummeled by those heights. So, yeah. This exact battle, I'm pretty sure there wasn't actually any fighting, especially this close. I'm sure there was firing at each other. I'm sure people were shooting. But I highly doubt that there would ever be, enough to be considered a battle.
I see. Interesting. Now, looking at this, the battle within War of Rights, what's usually the strategy for each team? Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, the Union strategy is usually kind of flawed, where either they hold too far back or too far forward. In my opinion, I would just believe that a line right there would be sufficient, like where these guys are, using these kind of things as cover, possibly these tents and over there on the right. We can see now that the Union's advance solely into the woods leaves them very vulnerable to being flanked on their right, which is precisely what's happening with the 5th U.S., who took away from their frontal position and went all onto this little log. Looks very bad from close up, but because they're more than 70 yards away from the, more like 50 from the enemy, they're kind of hard to see. So there we get some good shots on them. These guys in the first corps, surely suppressed here, completely. They're taking on the entire might of 100 Confederates and having to fall back sooner, I imagine, than later. Looks like they're still holding though, and the longer they're able to keep the Confederates here and die in formation, the better, in my opinion. Because the moment we start fighting towards point, it gets really desperate. I would think that the rest of the guys should start getting up and starting forming lines, like in the forest right there. If they were to get a couple lines right there, that'd be really helpful. But we're not. That's not what we're seeing. We're seeing all the rest of the Union really far back. Confederates finally charging, taking 5 minutes, getting a couple out of lines. Mr. Volk dying.
Why would you say it's better, or why is it worse, you think, in the tents than over by the woods here in terms of fighting for the Union? Because
Well, when both teams have cover that's like 40 yards away, it'll just be inevitable that the Confederates will find an opportunity to attack and charge, which is exactly what they did. They were fighting really close, and sure, I mean, they were outnumbering the First Corps guys by a lot, but it wasn't set in stone that they were going to win. Of course, when you have little guys like this charging out of line, nice job. You know, when you have guys like that charging out of line, a lot of people dying. This is it's a very tight map. However, there's a lot of opportunities through these fences. I'm sorry, not the fences, through the tents and through the caissons and shit to get out of line. Let's see how many cannons they have. Wow. 18 men in artillery. 18.
I think this is not a good map for artillery because a lot of it's flat. It's not like the CSA are charging up that hill. Which are
and even if they were, it would be literally too far down to traverse it downwards. Like you couldn't aim it at them.
Yeah, those cannons look like they're meant for far range, not necessarily charging up the hill. It would be very hard to get those shots off.
The Confederate embankments around there in that tree line, that is where an engagement would most likely begin. You know, I would love to see, again, I'm telling you, I would love to see a Hell's Conquest style map for between there and like there. Like that's the spawn. The spawn's like over there, like maybe at the edge of the town. Point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, I would love to see that. How they are ever going to see it though.
CSA, well, while we got some skirmishes here, where we usually see the CSA push up, a lot of the CSA team is going really far back into the Union camp.
Yes, we can see over here, I'm pretty sure it's the 5th US. Yes, it is the 5th US under Johnson. They're going to be able to start engaging the Union respawn, which is really far back for a defensive map. Ooh, latrines.
I mean,
we
I
can
guess
see that
it
the
is,
Union have respawn all the way over here.
it's going to endanger them, so you're not too far off with that.
Yeah. The Union's sending a couple men down, but I think they're sending them too far down. I would, if I were them, I would just make a line here. I'm telling you, you don't need to be that spread out. Confederates forming a little bit of a skirmish line here. Not really. The 10th US. Yeah, they're kneeling and shit. They do have Mississippi rifles, which are, not the worst rifles in the game, especially for hitting single targets. But we can see that they don't really need to be aiming at single targets when you have clumps like this, especially when they're just walking around and not shooting. What I used to say was, if you're not shooting or reloading, you're wasting time.
Oh.
Is that Confederate?
What was that?
I think that's Confederate artillery. But we can see here that there's just a shit ton of guys doing nothing. Look at all these cannoneers, and I gotta say, it's not doing much to have you there. You just don't need to have 9.
They're getting ready for the Confederates to come down that tent line where they usually come down. However, they're not doing that, and I hope they loaded canister.
Yeah, well, they probably had shell shot, and when it hits a single man and there's a giant red burst, they'll say red burst, and they'll pat themselves on the back. It's like that scene from Gettysburg. And they'll pat themselves on the back. I can see it right now, as if it already happened. We can see that some guys are really willing to die at a line, especially at the quick time. I guess if you're gonna die at a line, you might as well do it with style. Mr.
Oh, no.
Well, I wonder if he was blind or just retarded.
Seeing his buddy die out of line, refuses to leave,
misses a shot, and tries to double cook away.
There he goes. The CSA guy tried to take a stab.
The background. Yeah, well, hopefully for his own team's sake, he doesn't kill himself. What the fuck are these guys doing? I'm sorry, what the fuck is this bullshit? Is the Union throwing or something? Because, whatever. Sometimes I wish it was I wish every event adopted the European, although it is kind of a fucking butt rape rule, or what's it called, like anal. It's a bit of an anal rule. I wish that everybody adopted the no rainbows rule, because man, it's annoying for your own team's sake. Again, they can be at eye level defilade right here and be perfectly firing into that rock formation, but it looks like not a single group is really interested in doing that. They'd much rather just either do nothing or die. And these guys over here are just love dying and skirmishing, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why you'd be kneeling behind this rock formation. Like, you can just go a couple feet back and then boom, you're over a hill. But whatever.
I mean, I guess,
Whatever.
though, however, the CSA hasn't pushed too far into the camp. At least, I guess that's what we're seeing right now. Maybe CSA is just taking the tree line, thinking we can shoot the Union down for a little bit.
Yeah, I was about to say that maybe we won't see an engaged for a while, but, I mean, what the fuck? Like, what did that guy do? He ran out of line to start reloading? What? Why would you do that? Like, oh, whatever. Like, this is a Saturday night event, and people aren't really playing like it's Saturday. People are playing like it's, I don't know, fucking midnight. The Confederate forces over here, we have been focusing a lot on the Union losses, but the Confederate forces also in the open have been taking pretty severe losses. That being said, they are the attacking team, and we would expect them, especially on maps like this, to take a lot more maps and still, or a lot more losses and still come out on top. I imagine when those Confederate forces down there are ready, they're probably going to charge over there and try to get behind the Union force, because they've completely abandoned point. Of course, there's like 20 artillerymen. So again, like, the Union have 1/5 of their men, or I guess like more like 1/6, just on artillery. And what are they doing? Well, we can see here that there's 3 of them who are not able to shoot. There's been 10 minutes. If you get off a shot a minute, that is 10 shots. Assuming you have a 10% accuracy rate, that's a kill per guy. You know, like, say what you want, but 20 kills is a lot. And I think I'm being generous in saying that, you know, or I think I'm being conservative in saying that anybody can get a kill in 10 minutes. Engaged is the Union. Yeah, I don't know. The Union, I don't think they can win this unless they,
No.
the Confederates really don't try.
It's 33.5 minutes, and you go down to engage. That's not looking good so far. Honestly, like, what do you think the Union can do right now to at least give them a chance to win this battle?
Well, number 1, stop having the Rambos dot on line. Number 2, they could probably form up these guys. These 2 regiments, the 1st Corps, basically the entirety of the 1st Corps could stop being in skirmishing and just charge that unit right there, the 5th US. It's 9 guys and they've probably gotten 100 kills. I don't know, probably not, but I'm exaggerating. Whatever. That's, you know, that alone would be enough to be sufficient. Also, additionally, have all the artillerymen F9 and then have them go with riflemen and just start shooting. Because I hate to tell you, but, you know, nice. Oh, I want to see this rising volley. And they missed. You know, I got words to say, but I'm not going to say them. Really, I think what we see here is that the 1st Corps is really spread out across the entire map, and what we see in comparison between them and Sussy, which I think are pretty comparable Confederate groups, at least in size, is that the Sussy Brigade tends to play a lot more like as if, you know, they're one unit that breaks off every once in a while. 1st Corps plays like they're a bunch of units that group up every once in a while. And I think that's coming to their detriment here, and what we see is that they, I don't know, just, like, really, I don't know why these guys are here. What the fuck are they doing? Like, you're not helping anybody here. Like, you're just dying and skirmishing and not able to hit anything because you're suppressed as shit. Like, it's not helping you, it's not helping your team die and skirmishing. Like, I don't care how many kills you get, especially when you're defending. You can see now that the Confederates have phenomenal shots over here. That entire Union volley hitting nobody. And they're gonna start picking back off shots. Well, I mean, look at that volley. That volley alone, it suppressed all of them and killed like 2. That, phenomenal work on the Confederates team by actually able to find the Union faults and shooting them. But what we see here is that the Union really aren't doing much to actually try to be proactive and win. They're just like, you know, passively letting the Confederates get more and more. Like, really, why haven't they charged this group out here?
Yeah, you get single people charging out there, dying and skirmishing on a line. You could see the Union now pulling out.
Yeah, like,
hopefully they don't go too far, which they don't.
Yeah.
Maybe that was an attempt to bait some guys out to get some out of lines.
I mean, well, whatever it did, it almost worked. Again, more out of lines. This guy doesn't have tags on. Man, this is, like, really, look at this formation. Like, that does not, I'm sorry if I keep, like, harping on this, but man, we just do not see organization. Like, player-wise, character model-wise on the Union. If they're not going to charge these guys out, retreat up the hill. Like, it's, the Confederates who are over there, the 5th US wants to be shooting. Is this the 5th or the 10th? This is the 10th U.S. Okay, yeah, the 10th want to be shooting you. That's what they want. So you're just gonna stand right where they can see you. Phenomenal move. Look at this guy. Okay, well, I guess we're not gonna see anything there. Man.
I just wanna see.
Oh, by the way, rising volleys don't work, guys. They, you guys are too inaccurate to actually do anything once you're up there, and you can't see jack shit. Rising volleys don't work. Go to eye level, stay there.
Well, I mean, let's see. You said first core was on the Union, right?
Yeah, first core's on the Union right now.
Okay.
First core's spread out. Let me see if we have any first core guys in Confederacy. Nope.
Okay.
Union does outnumber them by around 30, but I do not see the Union actually being able to pull out a win here.
Wow.
Confederate's sitting engaged for 29 minutes.
That's
So
even
very
more
large.
crazy. So,
oh my God, Confederates also have 8 men in artillery. Why? Why do you have artillery on this map? What do they do?
It equals out. It equals out.
No, it doesn't. They're outnumbered by 30. Why do they have any artillery? What are they doing?
Fair enough.
Guys, we need to kill 5 men every 20 minutes with 8 guys. We need to take up 8 rifle slots. You don't understand. We need to decrease our team's fighting effectiveness by 10% because we can get a kill every 16 minutes.
Here's the thing.
Oh my God, guys! Look, they got a kill. They got a kill. Oh my God.
Here's the thing, though. CSA is currently winning in terms of tickets. So, it's not... I mean, yes, 8 rifles, especially on a map like this, would be very, very helpful. However, if the CSA pull out a win, which it looks like they are, I don't think it's the end of the world that they can be on Arty and have fun for a while.
I'm just gonna say it. If the Union don't hit taking losses in the next 8 minutes, they might win. I think they have to get a pre-20 taking losses in order to actually win. The Confederates it is. So, no. I'm not saying that it's like a full-on conclusion, but I don't. With the sheer amount of more men that the Union has, it's slightly evening it out now. But let me see. Unlisted players. So, oh, that's me. Unlisted players. So actually, I was looking to see if there's unlisted players because unlisted means that there's people who are like auto-balanced over, but I don't think that I have auto-balance on right now. Sometimes they can give you a false look. We can see over here that the Confederates. It's still a pretty early in the game. It's 28 minutes, but they need to do a teeny bit more in order to start getting start bringing them down to taking losses. I just think that, oh, wow,
good kill there.
Yeah, well, okay. If you're Union and you get an unaligned kill, you're retarded on your defensive map, that is. Because holy shit, you shouldn't even put yourself in that situation to begin with. He ran up and chose that fight, and he should not have.
I find this interesting that first core is on the Union. At least I'm looking at the event cord sheet, and first core is on the Oh, they're flipped.
It's
flipped.
It's swap sides, man.
Right, I forgot. Okay, so
okay, yeah.
This is so on.
That's been described for the viewers, right? That,
yes, I said that at the beginning. However, I still didn't get it through my head.
Okay, that makes sense. With the thing, the Union stragglers back there, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can see around 12 Union guys just faffing around over there, and like another 5 right there. So I would not be surprised. Yeah.
I find this interesting though. I'm looking at the cord, and there's only 3 groups on the Union, the CSA, but the USA. You have 1st Corps, 24th Georgia, and the Pickett's Brigade. Whereas on the Union, you have 2, 4, 6, 9 units.
Yes, and the Union is playing Confederacy in this.
Correct. So, yes. 9 units on the Confederacy, where I don't know how many groups are in 1st Corps. I think there's Walker's division.
There's yes.
But I don't know how many groups
you can see over here that 1st Corps themselves are taking up 2 companies.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a big group. And what we do see is that the Confederates are actually pulling back now. The Union, just sheer amount of men that they have, is forcing the Confederates to slightly fall back. And again, artillery, nice kill you got there. Like 5 kills. Awesome, nice job. We really need to have 20 men on there for that. It's necessary. Nah, whatever. I don't know. I think if these Confederates don't group up and just like start attacking, like right now they're wasting time right now. The fact that there's so many units just not firing and not reloading and not being in line formation. Just like I don't care. Just like start marching out in columns, if anything, right? Like that'll be better than what you're doing right now. You don't remember. I mean, I was gonna say, if the Confederates got their men off fucking artillery, stop wasting them, and just charged, they'd probably win. If they just like grouped up the top of the hill and charged these guys, you'd probably win.
Yeah, Union's really... I mean, they could really just bunch up and charge anywhere. Union's really spread
Oh
out
my god.
on that defensive position. Counter battery. No.
Fucking counter battery. Fucking kidding me. Oh, I wonder how many deaths these guys have taken.
Probably not a lot.
Because there's no more fighting anywhere else.
Hey,
Oh my god, look at that. A blood stain? Dude, that's huge. I can see 2 shell hits. Oh, you can see all the shell hits. Nice job, guys. You guys, helping your team a lot.
If you can't tell if Sevi likes counter battery or not. Or just artillery in general. Although we do have a screenshot of him saying artillery will be effective.
Yeah, because, you know, everybody thought that
was
artillery would be really
before.
effective. Yeah, back in 2019. Yeah.
So
You know, these
CS
Confederates, they got to get out of these fucking woods. They got the early momentum. They got the 35-minute engaged. And what are they doing now? They're just, like, floundering it. Like, they're literally standing at 170 yards. And, you know, I hate to say it, but the artillery, if they hit right there, which they're probably not going to, but if they did, this 83rd PVF would be hurting. You know, a simple way to counter artillery is just get closer to it. Because the closer you are to it, they're not going to be able to kill you. And also, people just hate canister. Like, people have an unbridled hatred for canister, and I don't understand it. People are like 2 yards away, and they'll be shooting shell shot, and they'll be killing the fucking supply train behind the Confederates.
CSA
now that
moving up a
the-
little
yes.
more. A little
Yes,
more.
the 10th US are being a little more aggressive, starting to do some volley fire. And the Union are hiding behind this wagon. I think that they're actually on independent fire, which would be a much better, in my opinion, because you get them whenever they peak.
USA or CSA?
I think both sides.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I mean,
Yeah.
CSA is, the 10th US is just bunched up in a line in between those 10s, so USA independent shot, yeah, they should be easy hits. And then same for the CSA, they just watch the Union peek around the corner. Unless they just pulled
Yeah,
back, which I can't tell.
they're not really, though. Like, the Confederates are kind of just like letting... Oh, they're messing for a charge, I think. I think that's... Oh, maybe just an advance? I don't know. Either way, the guys are even way too high. You can see the bullets whizzing right by. Make sure to aim for the waist in the future, fellers.
Yeah, because bullets do go up when you shoot, which...
Especially at 40 yards. It's
You know
very
why they do
noticeable.
that?
I know exactly why.
Why?
Because your guns are sighted for 100 yards. With black powder, there's an extreme arc with how the bullet goes. So in order to hit accurately at 100 yards, it has to go up at 5. It looks like the Union have taken losses at 22 minutes 53 seconds. So that that was within the 10-minute window I gave a while ago. And looking at it, if the Confederates keep up this pace, the Union will hit last stand pretty favorably for them. Taking loss. So what taking losses means is that the Union have lost like half their tickets. But losing half your tickets in 20 minutes is, just on par to just barely get into the last stand, right? So
Yeah, and
the Confederates got to pick up the pace.
this has to favor the Union too, especially because the CSA was very aggressive to start, and now they've kind of pulled back a little bit in terms of aggressiveness. So,
Yeah, well, the
This
Union
one is
just did a
closer.
charge for some reason into the woods.
Why?
I don't see why they would charge into the woods. Like earlier, they were too reluctant to charge the guys who were in the open, like 5 of them. He's yelling brace, and the guys aren't even charging anymore. And now they're falling back.
CSA is not being aggressive at all. Do not put your tickets at risk by charging out. I mean, you could have easily lost that. Gotten a lot of skirmishing.
Yeah, and now
lines.
now the Union are being extremely poor and telling their men to fall back. Like, what is this? Like, I'm sorry, this is a phenomenal example of an out-of-line formation. Whatever tickets they just gained, they lost with that one out-of-line death. So, nice job, Union. You guys have, probably, if anything, shorten your own lifespan. We can see over here that near this thing, the wagon, is just a pile of dead bodies from what over here, the 5th US and the 10th US have been able to inflict on them. 10th US has slightly moved over, and they have now started to fire on this formation in the eastern tents. So the 10th US is firing into the eastern tents.
There's hay
Back
bales.
over here near the cannons, yes.
No, I've never. There's hay bales. I've never noticed that to the in between the tents, or the tents in the 10th US. On the in between the woods.
Hay bales.
Hay bales.
What
To
hay
your
bales?
left, to right, or is that a rock? Go behind. It's behind you. That's a rock.
Was this a hay bale you saw?
It looked like a hay bale, but it wasn't fully loaded in. I'll just stop talking.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry.
I'm just like,
there are no
I'm-
hay bales.
I've never seen a hay bale there before.
The hay bale was a lie. Yeah, well, and you really have never seen a hay bale there.
No. Still to this
Yes.
day, to this very moment.
The Union over here, what we see is that groups like the 24th are extremely conservative, and when they rise, they're only like, doing little rising volleys to shoot like 5 guys. This is a huge waste of the amount of manpower they have. Look at all these men who are clumped up. A slightly larger open order, focusing fire on that entire tree line over there would be much better. But instead, you can see that they're just walking around, you know, whoop-de-doop-de-doop-de-doop, and you know, not shooting as often as they could be. The Confederates over here who they're facing off against are the 6th Corps, I guess the 17th, and the OG. And so the OG's over here, the 6th Corps right there. Union bringing the Confederates on taking losses 3 minutes behind them. Confederates, wow. You know, if yeah, they're slowing down.
Confederates slowing down, Union putting in the heat.
Yeah, hopefully the Confederates don't take the wrong message from this and don't think that they should be acting less. I think I just sort of canister around, aim a little bit too high because it went through me.
Hey, well, there you go.
Yeah, canister, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, CSA was doing well when they were aggressive at first. They've slowed down their assault, and now they're losing. So
yeah, and now the Union are actually being aggressive, which might end up hurting them. Because we can see again, out of lines. I'm sorry, but literally your entire movement can be undone by 2 out of lines. Let's see how well these 2 8th Ohio guys are able to react to the out of liners. They don't see them, so the out of lines are probably going to get a.
He just finished his reload though. However, he doesn't see him. They don't have why don't they have bayonets on?
Well, beside a little team stab there, the Union were able to do it without losses. Again, I'm sorry. That's not cool. That's retarded. You guys do not get anything for your team, and you risk a whole lot. That's not cool. That's retarded. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how many kills you get. Doesn't matter if it's, oh my god, I got 2 out of line kills. I do not care. Do not care.
High risk, high reward. Very, very, very high risk. It could have gone wrong if those guys saw you.
Look.
Why are they pushing up more?
Holy shit. Are you really... Is he gonna survive this? Nice job, 7th, I guess.
An absolute Chad.
I would not call him a Chad. I would call him more so the well, where'd his friend go?
Did his friend not make it?
I think his friend didn't make it. Bit sad, innit?
It's very sad. I mean, it is awesome. It feels good. However, in the grand scheme of things, no, it's bad. Even if you are a Chad for doing that and getting those epic kills. In terms of
nice
tickets,
job,
no.
artillery. It's really imperative that you have like 20 guys doing nothing the entire game. That is the most important thing. Everybody knows that is actually what Grant did to win the Civil War. Is that he told all of his guys to stand back and to shoot at dirt, and it worked at Petersburg. It worked, believe it or not, because that's what Burnside did at the Battle of the Crater.
No.
The Confederates over here seem to be massing up on their right half of the tent line. And assuming that they mount a charge, they'll probably bring the Union down to break.
I don't think they're going to charge there.
I sure hope they do. Well, at least for their own sake.
Okay, in charge, yeah, but don't charge there.
Why not?
Because I think that's where the most of the Union... I mean, okay. In terms of, you're going to charge, they got cannons lined up there. Hopefully with canister. Maybe go around them in the back?
I've never, not once, seen lined up cannons, pre-prepared cannons actually stop a charge that wouldn't already have been stopped. You know, if the Confederates charge there, if somebody's gonna kill them, it won't be the cannons. See here, the 50th US started to pepper the side of the Union.
That accent.
Yeah, really. Wow, that was a bit of a death there, bit of a dramatic death with the 1st Corps guy. The rest of the Union seem to be still spread out in the same positions they've had for a long time. Assuming that the Union hits breaking at around 10 minutes left in the game, this would be a very even match, and I can still see it going exactly either way. It really depends on just how many kills the Confederates inflict on the Union.
Yeah, yeah, I think maybe the CSA game plan was to be aggressive at first, get to that corner position, just hold, and they think, oh, we have more tickets, we can just shoot them down and win.
Do you still see my screen?
It's a stream pause.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my thing just fucked up. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, you're good. We're missing a lot here, as you can see, massive charges on both sides.
Oh yeah, huge, giant charges.
That would actually be quite funny if the CSA charged on the left.
The 1st Corps AB. Oh god, my frame's just halved. That's great. That's great. Shit.
Apologize.
Hopefully it fixes itself in the next couple minutes, because man, my frames just went down to 15. Fuck.
Nah, it looks good on my
Anyways,
end, but anyways, yeah.
okay. So the Union seem to be now spread out, and what I think is what we see is that they're in two different groups. Is the Confederates capping? Nope. Okay, it's just a cap. We see two different main groups. We can see a group over there and a group over there. And pretty much the only thing between them is that rock pile, which a shit ton of skirmishing losses over the whole game have happened. I would say if it weren't for those skirmishing losses, the Union would probably still be unengaged. Over here in this Union charge over here, let's see why they did that. The 10th U.S. is receiving a charge from the 1st Corps Anderson's Brigade, looks like. And nice job, Anderson's Brigade. You died. Nice job.
And that's another line. Put that flag
a little bit on the rears that these guys were able to get through, but then they just kept going, and now they're on their rear.
And now
oh, that was pretty cool.
Jeez, my man got berserked.
Nice little move by the 10th U.S. and they were able to kill the rest of them. They did take some losses, but I would say that was just a dumb move for the Union.
That was well worth it.
Back up.
You at least got like 5 or 6 out of lines that we just saw. So that was
Union really breaking that 14 minutes. Okay, that was even sooner than I thought because of that charge. That charge, I think, made this a lot harder for the Union. I can still see them maybe winning, but breaking at 14 minutes left from the game, that is bad.
Yeah, and it sucks too because everyone that's on the left side of the Union line, up by most of the artillery, they're probably like, why the heck are we hitting breaking?
Well, by the way, I should probably add that the 1st Corps was able to take that position, and a couple of the Confederates are retreating. So, looks like the second... What we saw there was that there were 2 little groups there. The first group completely died, and the second group won. The second group that was able to win the melee was the 1st Corps Anderson's Brigade, 14th Tennessee. So, I should probably just have said that.
I'm shocked they didn't charge in as a big group, though.
Yeah, I agree. Like, just having those out of lines is what screwed them there. We can see now that the Confederates have actually, what we missed is that they took this corner. That is a huge advance for the Confederates and a great boon, because now they have the same cover that the Union have. And as long as they force an engagement, they are going to win the long run, because again, they're the attackers. They have more tickets. However, I would think they'd be footing more that direction. It looks like they're more intended at shooting the dirt right there. If they're able to get their entire team over here on this on the mound, they're going to start winning a very serious amount. It looks like they're much more contented though to sit behind rocks and he must keep shooting. I'm sorry guys, but you'd be much better off getting the fuck up here before you start doing anything else. Fire at will, he says, and now they're actually, you know, the Yankees have been holding the same position they've been holding for the whole game. And you know, the Confederates, they have a great opportunity here, but they might flounder it, but just by refusing to advance. The Union completely stacked up behind these things. You know, great mass of men here in the 24th Georgia, I believe. But what are they doing? I'm sorry, this is actually 24th and the 1st Corps. Or some aspects of the 1st Corps walks to Division 16 Georgia. I really can't say 1st Corps because they're like half a team. The Confederates retreated.
Yeah, they had like 5 guys up there. No one else came, and you still have guys up there.
Yeah, Union brings out a breaking with them. The Confederates need to start aggressive here. That way they can get the you know, overtime, or not the overtime, the final push, last stand meta, right? Well, if you're able to hit both teams down to their end stages, last stand and final push, it favors the attackers. So the Confederates here, really, they cannot be affording to mass up and shit. All they can be doing is advancing and advancing. And if we don't see advancing, we'll see them losing. Artillery hitting more dirt. You can see over here from the Confederate perspective that the Union are very clumped up, but not exactly in a position to stop a charge. Like what you said earlier, how yes, there's a lot of them here, but they are spread out vertically. Like you'll receive the front. If they all charge, they'll hit these front guys before the back guys get there. So they'll have a benefit in the melee, assuming they have even numbers. That also being said, the 1st Corps AB and the 1st Corps 14th Tennessee are still down here on the right. So the Confederates really need to be charging right there right now.
I understand why the Union spread out is to prevent the CSA from getting behind them, especially right now. They could get behind them on the point. However, you all are spread out, and the CSA charge as a team. You guys are done.
Yeah, maybe what they're thinking is that, you know, there are a shit ton of groups on the Union. Like, actually, there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only like 5, 6 groups. That's not impossible to coordinate, but that's more than 3. So, you know, that you know, 6 is a larger number than 3, believe it or not, and that will make coordinating a slightly harder affair. I hope for the Confederates' sake that they're not going to wait until last stand to charge, because that would be a folly of immeasurable folliness. I don't know. on the far Union right, we can see that there are Confederates re-advancing back into the woods on the far right, taking up their old positions. I'm assuming that this is the this is the 83rd. I thought it'd be the 5th. The 83rd, yeah, the 83rd have a flag bearer, and they're trying to get far around. If they are able to pin down these guys in the 1st Corps, in the 14th Tennessee and the Anderson's Brigade 4th Georgia, they will be able to, actually help their team out a lot up on top of the hill. Point is going down. I think it's just decay. Okay.
Yeah, it's decay.
Yeah, I had to look though. Really, that looks like a lot faster than decay. Is there really nobody over here?
I guess I could see.
Looks faster than me. Whatever. Yeah, that. Look at how fast it's going. I don't know. Looking at the fight from afar, the Confederates are still choosing to do what they've been doing for the whole game, is that engage at a far distance. And I don't know. I just think that they might be taking advantage and losing it. Clutching defeat from the draws of victory.
If we continue like this, CSA is going to hit final push before Union hit last stand.
I would have to agree with that. The Confederates right now, both teams have like maybe 15% of their tickets left. The Confederates need to charge right now before they hit final push, right? Bring the Union down to last stand. It doesn't matter if they hit final push or not. They need to pretend like they're already on final push, or else it'll be too late when they are.
Because if the CSA hit final push, the CSA is going to instinctively just charge right away. I would hope they would instinctively charge right away. And then, you get 2 full charges, so maybe take the time to reform at main and do 1 final charge and hope it works.
Yeah, but what they need to do instead of that is just charge right now. That way they get 3 charges in. Instead, they're choosing to shoot from afar. Keep this in mind, guys. On maps like this, if you hit final push, your timer will go down to like 4 minutes or so. It's the amount of time to run from there to there twice. So that's around 4 minutes. If that happens and you are below 4 minutes, you lose no time. Therefore, it is literally a waste of tickets if you have 5 minutes left to not just start charging. Like, you are literally wasting your own tickets because the moment it takes 4 seconds, it's as if you already hit 0 or 4 minutes.
CSA
the moment you're within final push. This is way too far away. These guys are crouching to reload. I don't really agree with the crouch to reload stance when you're in the open. The 10th US might be able to just walk up.
Guys, they're charging you. There they go. Get up.
Oh, waste. They should have gotten their shots off, I think. 10th US is now engaging in the 1st Corps. The rest of the Confederates, I don't know, the Union outnumber them here, so just stabs for a second, they're going to start winning. I think the Union just won that. The Confederates, they had charged in and they didn't use their shots on the kneeling guys. If they had all gotten their, aimed at the feet, they could have done a lot there. It looks like now all we see is that those 2 groups are dead, and the Union are higher in morale at the very least.
Props to the 10th US though for actually doing something.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we can see today we're going to stand in this open and shoot the guns. There's 7 minutes left in the game, and I want to shoot my gun 4 more times. Okay, I'm just going to say it again. Getting 4 shots off, really? Each? I know it's just a lot of shots, but it's not going to bring them down to battle ready until the last stand, Yeah.
It's definitely ain't going to bring them down to battle ready.
Yeah. Humna. The Confederates, really here, they have had the benefit here at a lot of cases. The Union over here, shooting over each other's shoulders, suppressing each other. Pretty much everywhere, I don't know, it just seems like the Confederates had an ample opportunity to just charge for the past 20 minutes, right this position. I keep saying that because, again, there's 2 whole units down there who are not able to help here. And instead, they want to shoot their guns. Nice job, artillery, got a kill. 1 kill. You hit their flag bearer. Woo, we got their flag bearer. Confederates now charging now the moment that they no longer have all of their men.
Everyone's actually charging out 2-prong, 3-prongs, 1 in the middle, that's 4 guys.
Yeah, the middle prong kind of died extremely quickly. The guys, I think they sacrificed a bunch of guys and then charged. I don't know, I just think that they should have had those guys up out instead of the charge. Or everybody charge at once. The Confederates have been able to encircle the Union over here on the left half of the Union formation defenses. And it's chaos over here. The Union losing their flag bearer, one of them at least, and the Confederates looks like they lost on the right side. And look at that, reinforcements coming up. Yeah, the Confederates, they kind of mangled that charge there, in my opinion. Unless the unit hits taking last stand right here, it'll I think it's already far along that the Union might have enough time. That is what I worry for. However, it could still go either way. And why the fuck are they retreating? Fuck you. I'm sorry. Fuck you. You're retarded. Fuck you. God
I mean,
damn it.
okay, 2 out of 3 of them are flag bearers.
Go the fuck behind the fucking mound! What the fuck you doing? You have 20 guys
bet.
retreating.
Union's able to hold the position. CSA kind of half falling back with the remaining guys that they have there. USA is
And
able
some
to
other guys
hold
just, like,
without it going to without going to last stand here.
Out of line. Oh, howdy, boy.
What the fuck was that?
That was
Was
the
he even
melee
trying? Use
That
that
was-
shoulder arms.
parlay.
Yeah, I guess he was trying to parlay. He was trying to negotiate surrender. We can see, okay, Confederates. Yeah, complete Confederate advance lost. Losing point. Oh, that's just okay.
Union, surprisingly, well, maybe not surprisingly, they haven't.
Yeah,
won
well,
the
yeah,
last
I-
stand.
I'm sorry. The Union they already have 20 more men, and the Confederates over there, they waited until like 20 of their men got wiped, and then they charged. Like if those guys were in that charge, the Confederates would have already won right now. They'd be on point. Okay, Union does hit last stand though with 4 minutes left, but right now this is around the amount of time that the Confederates have in final push. Oh, Confederates lost 1 minute to final push. I was wrong. It was 3 minutes 30. I thought it was more like 4:15. It was like 40 seconds off. Confederates now start charging. I'm sorry. Just like grug and go, for fuck's sake.
CSA now hitting final push.
Yes. So yes. CSA has hit final push. They lost around a minute of their time. They went from 4:30 to 3:30. Now they're at 3:15 or so. But you can see now that the Union are mostly trying to fall back to point, making sure that they can't get rear capped. Not a horrible decision when there's only 3 minutes left in the game.
Why?
The Union, all they have to do is win like a melee and a half.
I would think if I was Union, I would not be falling back to point because here's the thing: out of line information doesn't matter anymore. You just need to keep them off point and keep bodies off point. And I can understand. I mean, I guess there's a fair point where you need to all group up so that if there's a charge, you can win easier. But CSA seems to be trickling in right now.
Yes, and I would usually agree that keeping them off point should be the priority. Does not seem like they care though. They just want to get back to point and start fighting. Nice shot with the cannon. You hit. Can't see the explosion, and I don't think you shot canister.
No.
Confederates now overrunning the Union cannon positions. Of course, if the Confederates just get one set of respawns in here, they shoot some buck 'em all right in this position. If the 24 Georgia is wiped by the Confederates here, then they might see a chance. This might come down to overtime, but to be honest, I don't know if the Confederates can be able to win this.
Oh,
There's
look
only
at their
2 minutes left
spawns.
in the game.
How close
Yeah,
are their
look-
spawns?
They are sprinting over.
But they're so spread out.
Holy Jesus! It is like it just started raining hard near me, like IRL, like
Yeah,
lightning
it's
every
been
half
lightning
second.
and thundering this whole time. I had to mute my mic a couple times because of thunder.
Is it bad weather near you too? Yeah, holy shit, like it is. Wow, like I'm not kidding. Like the entire sky is just constantly filled with lighting. Whatever. A minute 45 left in the game. Confederates are grouping up on the tree line. Cannons
CSA
hitting
already
their own
hit
men.
itself.
We can see now that the Confederate artillery has wasted time. If they had those extra 8 men on point, they might start winning any second now. Confederates seem to outnumber the Union slightly on point. It does seem like they were able to effectively actually get the respawns in here, and now they outnumber the Union on points. I think that the Confederates, outnumbered by almost 30, are actually going to be able to win this event now. There's a minute left in the game. The rest of the Union are completely huddled down here at the edge of the point marker, and now they're losing. I just heard a countercharge because they realized that that's the only chance they have at winning, getting the guys off point. And I agree with you. They should have kept the guys off point from there and maybe even advanced down the hill. Looks like now the Union are going to lose. That was an intense game.
It looked like early CSA was going to dominate. Union started to come back slowly though, as we saw, but just couldn't come back enough.
Yes, of course, we should probably tell the viewers, and I will admit this is a pretty CSA biased map. That being said, though, being outnumbered by 30, I would have thought the Union would have won there. Wow.
Yeah, so a very, very interesting round to say the least. I enjoyed it. Sevi, your thoughts for that round?
One second.
Anyways, I'll say my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
yeah.
you're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
go ahead.
I thought you had to talk to someone quickly. So, yeah, no, I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
gonna say what I just mentioned again. It's just, I mean, I think RD had a big deal. If Union had those 20 RD dudes with rifles, there's a maybe chance the CSA could have gone down the final push sooner. They could have maybe defended point easier at the end there. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll not see. But yeah. Those 20 men, I think, had a big part in this whole thing. Your thoughts, Sevi? Oh. we will wait here patiently and watch the beautiful, beautiful map. Unless Sevi went out, but I don't think he did, because otherwise he wouldn't be streaming. So yeah, I guess with that being said, Sevi's talking to someone. It's
There we go. Yes.
Yeah,
I was
okay,
talking
okay.
to someone.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yes, it is. Yeah, there's a tornado warning in like a county over, so it's all good right now.
It's a good.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said, but I'm just gonna tell you what I thought about that round. I heard you say that the Union did outnumber the Confederates there by around 30, and that was an important part of the round. Is that I think that shaped the Confederates moving, but additionally as important is that the Confederates, they were able to have, of course, the Confederates playing as they are the Union of the campaign. They had twice as many groups, and they were able to effectively coordinate that last charge. Of course, the second to last charge, kind of poopy. How they waited for the 10th U.S. and the other group to die. I can't remember the other group was over there with them. I think it was the 5th U.S. Kind of shit how they let those guys die and then charged in. They might have been able to do it a little bit better there. But what we saw was that the Confederates played surprisingly well. I think that's a good way of saying it. Surprisingly well. It's not that I didn't expect much of them. It's that, outnumbered with that sheer amount, sometimes people get too timid to actually attack. And the Confederates found the will, especially in the last 15 minutes, to actually start attacking. They had that in the first 10 minutes. They lost it for the middle of the game, and they were able to get it back and successfully beat a foe that was like 30 men larger. So yeah.
Yeah.
So, wrong map, I guess.
Yeah. With that being said, we'll see you guys in the second round. Here we are with our second map, Harper's Ferry Graveyard, one we have not seen on this channel before, one that I haven't played too often, but I enjoyed a lot. Sevi, what are the usual strategies for both teams when playing on Harper's Ferry Graveyard?
So the Confederates here, they're really down and funneled down to two things: attack the Union left or attack the Union right. And I guess we'll see what the Confederates pick. I've seen people pick evenly. Of course, my favorite has always been the again, I know people really hate this, but I always loved this left flank over here. The Confederates have. I just love walking down this road. Of course, I do know that a lot more people like walking down really far down the hill over here. You can go all the way down here, and maybe the Union won't even see you, and get all the way up on their flank. So we'll see either one. The Union have to defend this stone wall, which seems great, but the Confederates aren't probably going to attack from that direction. They're going to attack from a flank. So the Union will have to be very fast and upward overing over on that stone wall and that stone wall respectively. Again, that's called reeling right. So they'll have to go over, up and over, and reel forward right. Very fast, and that is pretty much the only good use of wheeling that I've seen in the game. That being said, the Confederates, if they just go, and charge the stone wall, they might have a good chance at winning.
Yeah,
they are still at number 3rd.
I want to preface something here. We're both getting hit by large thunderstorms right now, so if either one of us goes out, that is why. So hopefully that won't happen, but we'll continue covering till then. Union pushing up very, very far. I've never seen Union go here before.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen Union charge out the Confederates on here, but I've never seen them choose willingly to go down to the bottom of this hill. I don't really know why they would. Well, then again, these are Confederates playing on the Union, so maybe they don't expect these strat. Maybe they think the Confederates going to come down from that direction, because that's where they're all facing. Confederates, if they're able to get up right here and start volleying down to the right, they should be able to get some kills. We can see on the 7th Massachusetts, they see him. Let's see what...
Can hear the
I hear him yelling about Union. Yeah, the Confederates over here, they inflicted a couple casualties, 2 or 3.
This is the...
doesn't look much else happening.
This is the fun part, is that, at least for myself, if I played Union on Harper's Ferry, I might be doing something that is not CSA meta or playing as CSA. I might not be doing the CSA meta. So maybe the CSA is like, oh, we always go down this road. Let's get ready for it. These guys are probably going to do that. But
I would like to say that we see the standard strategy in the 7th, and what I love here is just how aggressive the 10th and the 5th US are being. That's phenomenally aggressive right there. Just continuing to push forward and forward and forward. That is great. The Union now are up on this wooden fence line. Ain't doing much against bullets, but the Confederates over here, once they get on these rock formations, I guess they're choosing to retreat instead of holding them.
I would not say just holding up on that fence that we see the Union there on the left, because CSA has nice cover with those rocks. That's just my preference. Pull back one rows of fences and wait for them to come up the peak.
What I always loved was holding up here on this stone wall or on this fence and advancing to shoot and falling back to reload. At the very least, because what we see here is that guys are able to get shot just standing around. At the very least, fall back halfway through the road right here. And we're at a high level here, and you can see back here you can't be seen. However, what the only thing that's endangering that strategy is the fact that there's a Confederate group over here on their right. the OG is still on this area. They've been exchanging shots over the stone wall. Of course, it's a huge waste of time to actually engage shots over the stone wall for a while you get the Confederates. I hope the 83rd, for their own sake, isn't just going to sit here the whole game, because that would be a waste of a good amount of manpower and a lot of opportunity.
I have a question. So you mentioned you like going down the Union right, the Confederate left. Why do you like going down that road? I think it funnels the CSA to one tiny road that the Union can easily shoot.
What we often see, at least in my opinion, is that, yeah, okay, a cannon and people way too anxious to shoot. At least in the first charge again on this flank, number one, the Union aren't going to expect it, because people always have charge in that other area. Number two, the cannons are useless and they're not going to kill you, so you can just ignore it, and you get a free kill. And number three, the Union guys over there, most likely, they're going to waste their shots. This charge is too short of a sprint to actually get a reload. So if you start, right here, and you just like get right there, and then maybe just trade shots for like a minute, the Union are going to completely out of shots, and you can just charge. It's it works out well. So I don't know. I just it's not that. Oh, the main reason I love it though, I think that can work. It's a good strategy. It's just because I really like holding this area up against the. I like having high ground against the point. Of course, your left flank is a little more exposed over here. However, I love holding this area, this little hill right here. Well, if the Confederates are able to get on that hill, they win the game.
That is true. That is a very phenomenal spot. Both sides look like just sitting on with their cover, independent firing towards each other. I don't know who's
losing a lot of men
here. Who has more kills? Union falling back. A lot of dead.
It's really hard
Union
to tell who has more kills. I think whoever hits engaged will have a good chance at winning this game. I'm sorry, whoever brings the other team to engage first will have a good chance at winning. I think it will come down to whoever hits engage first. I really can't tell who has more kills, but I know for certain the Confederates, as far as maps go, this isn't one of the worst ticket bounce maps ever. It's not as bad as like Roulette Lane, ticket-wise. Of course, Roulette Lane now is slightly easier with larger servers you need to hold, but still, like the amount of men that the Confederates have, it's still 20 lower than the Union. Let's see how many men they each group is at artillery. Confederates have 7 in artillery, and Union have 8.
Okay, so I can understand Union having like 2 dudes on artillery for the sake of putting arty down that road. However, 8 guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Especially when they're probably not even shooting. Like, if you have anything but canister in these, it's useless. And even canister, it's only gonna get like 3 kills. It's the best thing about canister is that it suppresses like a motherfucker, and suppression makes you worse at melee.
And
stab slower.
I'm kind of surprised the CSA have artillery, because even though the CSA has nice shots, it's really long away, it's hard to hit, and even if you do hit your target, the likelihood that you'll kill someone on that stone wall is very small. I've rarely seen CSA arty do a lot of damage on this map.
Yes, and oftentimes the Confederate artillery is pointed there or there. When like look at this position, right? I think even I would say a shell shot right there would be extremely effective. However, Confederates, I guess they disagree because they'd much rather hit dirt. Still, 7-man artillery is too much no matter how accurate you are. I don't agree with these kneeling lines. I've seen a lot of kneeling lines today, and I think it's just a lost of tickets. However, okay, I do see what they see now. They see a deflator, which is phenomenal. They can do little rising stuff. Look at that. Like, why would you shoot that? Why would you do that?
Yeah, that
it is useless.
Yeah,
I think I've only ever seen artillery hit this area right here. I'll be honest.
That is true. Have you oh, there's a new video I gotta share with you of a Union.
Yeah, I've seen Glad. Is that safe? Yeah, I think it is.
It plays like the Old Spice thing. Yeah. But yeah, so another crazy thing is what we just saw with the CSA crouching there is that from an overview, not even that much of an overview, you see like, oh, why are they crouching on the road? It looks like there's no cover there. However, look at how big of a difference that is. I mean, it's so little.
Now that the Union have up and overed, it kind of fucked them up there a bit.
However, again, it's just the point of topography. Imagine if there's a setting when you're spectating, you could like hit it and you see like the elevation lines. That would probably look terrible.
I do want to say a good transition there though. They realized when it was not worth it anymore to now they're going back down. I don't know. I think that they've showing that position, you know, it's the moment the Union advances, it kind of opens up too much on your front. Let's see if there's anything happening over here on the Union right. Nope. Against them on the fence line is, so this is where the 8th Ohio is. This is where they've been fighting this game, I guess. And again, them and I think the 83rd it is. Yeah, 83rd. Waste time having their men here. They should be charging. Oh, artillery hit. Actually, they moved a little bit right. They traversed. Impressive. If they're able to keep it up and suppress them, that will be very helpful in charge. Looks like they killed 2 or 3 people there. Kneeling, that is not half bad. So it's not that the artillery on this map is completely useless like it does on many maps. It's that the way it's used is oftentimes subpar. You can see there the fuse is a little bit too long. Again, it feels hit right there. You know, just a couple of yards to the right. Of course, they can't really see that from all the way over there. You know, it's a phenomenal looking line with the Potomac Home Battalion or Brigade, can't remember which, holding with their light blue uniforms. It's very beautiful blue uniforms in my opinion, and a bit of a shame that nobody else adopted them. I think as far as militia uniforms go, light blue is, mwah. Of course, not as good as the 69th New York K Company, you know, volunteers. Maher's original company, they had the best Zouave company in the entire Union.
Keiko baby.
Keiko baby.
This new station is not biased in any way, shape, or form.
Nah, well, uniform-wise, I'm extremely biased. I love those old Irish Brigade Zouaves. Of course, they got rid of them. The standard New York shit, but whatever.
So how do you think the CSA is doing in terms of aggressiveness? When should the Union be going down to engage? 30 minutes is it usually?
I would expect on this map, like seeing what we've seen so far, 30 minutes would be around expected, especially with the fact that the Union has that entire force over there on the fence line. Looks like they're allowing their men to independent fire, but I think they're even a bit high. Again, this force on the fence line and that force on the road, that could be an extreme vulnerability for the Union, but the Confederates aren't actually taking advantage of it. Instead, they're just shoot from here.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if the Confederates were able to charge, they are able to charge, if they did it. If they charged down that hill and took those guys out and those guys, and got on that flank, that'd be worth having all those men over there. You do not need to have men on this fence, on the stone wall. They have their entire team over here. They're still outnumbered, by the way. They're number 20. They do not need to have their men here. The 83rd and the 8th Ohio are just wasting manpower. They even have a drummer. Again, if they keep it up like this, I think the Union are going to be able to win this. Of course, it is still anybody's game, just like last round. It could come down to the last minute. Although I would say last round came down more to like the last 10 minutes, and that the Confederates finally, up and over for once.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what I've never seen Union down on the far right, Union far left.
Yeah, they have advanced a lot down there.
Which is maybe to get some pinching shots, maybe to force the CSA not to come up their side and flank them.
What we do see here is that the units on here, the 1st Corps Anderson's Brigade, looks like is the unit that moved down. The Anderson's Brigade has taken, pretty mediocre casualties, and it's not too much, but over 10 minutes, that is a bit. I still think a Union engagement around the 30 should be expected. If they hold out much longer, I'd be surprised. Just the sheer amount of Union corpses. Sure, most of them are information, but that doesn't mean much when quantity. 10th U.S. is doing another advance here. Again, the aggressiveness that they had in the first few minutes of the game seems to have petered out recently. But for their own sake, hopefully it, gets better. Of course, now they're receiving a volley from that group. 2 losses.
I mean, they all shot at the same spot.
Yeah, exactly. That is the issue with volley fire. Is that if it's too close, oftentimes you guys will aim at like the same 2 people. It's better at 50 yards than it is at 10. Artillery hit, killed like 3 men there.
That's the first time I've seen him hit.
I still got to say that having 4 men on it, or 7 men is too much. You only really need like 4, max. I would say like 3. Like really, I mean 3 kills. Sure, I mean it's awesome, it's cool and all, but overall I think we've only ever seen like 10 kills over here in 15 minutes. I expect the 7 infantry men to get more than 10 kills in 15 minutes.
I would agree. Where did the 10th U.S. go? Did they peter out or did they go to the bottom of the hill?
7th. Looks like they died.
It looks like they got petered out. I
think those are their corpses right there.
He ripped the tent.
Are in pieces. Of course, still this whole game. A nice little cancer. Okay. people are gonna crucify me for this. A canister shot would be phenomenal right now. Like just aiming really high right there, and then
CSA?
Suppress. Yeah, a Confederate canister shot. Yeah, I know it's far
It
away
can
and
go
shit,
that far?
but dude, there's no bullet jump off. Yeah, well, yeah, it'll go downwards, but if you know how to aim it.
Yeah. Talking about the
Yeah,
ball.
like if you were able to get just like a few pellets, right, it would suppress the guys. It's like little fucking shits. It doesn't need to kill anybody. Just even suppress. That'd be more effective than what they're doing right now. Nice job, you know, having this is his job for the whole game. People tell me artillery's fun, but man, I just love standing around with the fuse ready.
I think
forever.
that's my opinion as well, is that the only person who has fun is Josh. Unless you, CSA going down to engage.
Kvak, let's engage first. You know, I imagine that is due to the fall of that 10th US charge there. Is that, you know, sure it was aggressive, and aggressiveness is good, but aggressiveness that's not supported by anybody is useless. We can see now the 30-minute timer is about to come and go without the Union hitting engaged. That is horrible news for the Confederacy. They really need to pick it up and stop hiding behind this fucking stone wall. They have half the team over here doing nothing. Jack shit. What have they been doing? Okay, you might be asking, oh, but they've been shooting their guns, they've been shooting. Yeah, they've been hitting this fucking stone wall. I'm sorry, they've not been killing anybody. Oh my god, look, one death. Oh my god, one
Sevy, you're
body.
wrong. Sevy, you're wrong. Get out of here.
Oh my god, I was wrong. They got 5 losses.
I've
Look,
never
but
been
all
wrong
of these
before.
losses over here are due to the fighting over there. And let's see, do you actually see any losses over here? You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe 13 max. Over 15 minutes.
Yeah, and it's not like the Union's not getting kills either across here, because they're all shooting. They gotta hit heads, which is very hard to hit, as we've figured out in some marksmanship comps, right, Sevy?
You gotta aim at like this third rock from the top. You gotta aim like really far down, actually able to hit over the stone wall. And pretty much anybody, I'm not dissing anybody on this side, but most people, they will instinctively just aim for the head. The only way then that they can actually hit, because their bolt will go right above their head. It'll go like a good 1.5 feet above them. The only way then for them to actually hit is for their gun sway to go whoop at the last second. And you know, that doesn't happen very often.
Very nice animation.
Thank you. 10th US, again, sitting in the open. Again, what they need to do is just group up everybody and charge anywhere. They need to group up and charge. That's all the Confederates need to do, and they will start winning. I just can't believe this. Seeing this right here for 15 minutes hurts me.
Getting auto-insured flashbacks.
Yeah. It feels like they're playing like it's from forever ago. Okay.
Holy cow.
How did this happen? Who's been killing these guys? Have these guys been killing these guys over the stone wall?
That's impressive.
That is actually like an impressive amount of kills. So we can see here that the Confederates, if anything, have just been dying? Question mark? Okay, it was only more like 20 kills. It's still like 15 minutes. It's not like a game-changing amount of kills. However, that is enough to keep a unit there. Union have been doing a good enough job at just keeping the Confederates where they are in the stone wall. Again, I'm sorry, 83rd. Nice effort you've been putting up, I guess. But it's a bit of a useless one. Your guys should be going to the right flank and charging. Looks like maybe that's what they're trying to do. Nope, they're going back up there. Waste of men, or a waste of position and a waste of position. And you know, the 10th US is aggressiveness, which we've been able to see. We had a couple charges. The charge at the beginning and that second charge there. It's great. It's what you need in a round like this. Okay, finally a charge. Union hitting engaged around 3 minutes behind what I thought they would. They just hit engage at 27, around 20. Confederates now charging over this hill. An artillery shot right now, you know, combined arms would be great.
Oh yeah, it would. CSA's got that spot primed up too. CSA and just holding at that rock. They need to go. They need to push farther.
Yeah, what are they doing? Like, they're holding right in the open. Why would they do this? Why would they put themselves between two Union groups and sit there? Like, okay, these Rambos out here, they're not going to do much ticket-wise, but they're going to kill enough men to make the charge not viable anymore. What the fuck are these? I'm mad.
They gotta go. They gotta go, because now what happened is it's even fight. Not even, because the Union has the advantage right here of pinchering the CSA. CSA's got to choose a group and go. But honestly, they got to go up. They can't go down.
I think this Confederate charge is lost already.
Yeah.
I imagine all these guys are probably going to die in this pocket here. Look at that. That's just sad. Why the fuck would you go down the hill? I'm mad. And now the Union bringing over more reinforcements. Like, hey, look at this, free kills. Oh, guys, free kills. I heard there's free kills over here, guys. Hey, guys, look, free kills. Ah, fuck, man. Okay, so we can see here that now the PB moved all the way over there from the right flank to the left. 24 Georgia now is reinforcing their teammates. The 10th US is pretty much the only group still alive in reasonable numbers. Pretty much every other group that was in this charge. 63rd, OG, 6th Corps, all dead. Pretty sure there's a group with 7 in the name earlier.
Hey,
That was up here.
hey.
Artillery hit, killed a couple men, but a little bit too late and a little bit too far.
That's the whole point of the
kill this
charge.
Yeah,
to get
exactly.
The Union
Oh
we just
my
witnessed the Battle of the Crater.
Oh yeah, reverse. You know, with the Confederates this time.
Jeez, but it's not even like not the.
And now they're back over there. So it's not even like, okay, there is a strategy where it's like bayonet and just like everybody run left and then die, everybody run right, then die, everybody run left, and eventually you'll win. Like, you know, they're not even doing the strategy because now they're. Here, I'm gonna bet right now. I'm gonna go to spawn. They're gonna start getting reloads all the way back there. I'm sure there's people getting reloads back here. Yeah, look at this. So yeah. Get reloads all the way back here, guys. It's helping your team.
What is lower than brackets?
That's all I can say to this. Union still outnumbered the Confederates by around 20. So it's not like the Confederates. Again, what we see here is that. I'm sorry, now it's more like 30. It's like 26.
That's still a lot. It's good.
It is a lot of men. Yes. So I'm not completely dissing the Confederates here. I'm not dissing their willpower or their ability to play this game. What I'm dissing is their strategy. They're outnumbered. And instead of, what they should be doing is, okay, we're outnumbered, therefore get everybody on infantry, get everybody with bayonets, and we're all going to charge a small area. And then hopefully just win in one group, and then defeat in detail.
But you're not going to know if you're going to have more or less men until the battle actually starts. But I guess you could, if you talk in corridor, or not in corridor, but yeah, in a Steam chat.
Well,
but even if you don't have a Steam chat, you're all together at the beginning, so... I don't know. It'd be kind of hard to pull off, and we're seeing this overall, and we have time to think about this. Maybe
they've had an hour and 15 minutes to think about it. They've been able to tell they've been outnumbered for an hour and 15.
That's true. I mean, there's a chance they don't know. Like, for example, I think it was the EU Historical Rules event last week. Someone commented that they didn't even know that the one team, what was it? Cook's countercharge. I think it was the CSA outnumbering the Union. Someone on the Union didn't know that they were outnumbered the whole round, and they were mentioning that in the chat of the video. But maybe most people are. I mean, if you're an officer, are you really looking at the numbers? I don't know if have you looked at numbers in your leading experience?
Constantly, like at least for me, because that is one of the most important things about how you play around is how many people are in the round and how many men you have compared to the enemy. On a map like this, it's a little bit harder for the attackers due to the fact that the defenders can really hold a lot of positions. But again, 10th US pushed forward and everybody else pulled back. I'm sorry guys, but what you need to be doing is getting in melee with the Union ASAP. Like literally as quickly as possible. The moment you spawn in, your goal should be, okay, let's see how quickly we can get a large force against their force. They should be forming up in this area and charging the right. And when they die, which is inevitable, forming up in this area and charging the right. You're going to win eventually. It's going to happen. And if the artillery hits right before you get there, then maybe the enemy will be just suppressed enough and just a couple extra men down that you'll win. But instead what we see here is that they're actually spreading themselves off across the entire front, which is the precise opposite of what you want when you are attacking somebody. Of course, if it was just the 8th and they were holding down the entire group over there, that'd be great. But it's the 8th and the 83rd. And what we see is just that both those groups, I mean, sure, there's a couple more Union over here, but they also have a couple more men in total. Like, it's just not enough. Not enough. Even if they charge both ends at once, that'd be better than what they're doing right now. Shooting is exactly the opposite of what you want. When you are outnumbered by like 20 people, or now like 30. Give me a second, I just need... Excuse me. Sorry, I was trying to mute my mic, but I couldn't. When you're number like 30, the great equalizer in this game is shooting. When you have more men and you are shooting at the same distance, you will win. So what we see here is that the Confederates have less men, and they're shooting the enemy at a similar distance. And what are they doing? They're losing. Sure, I get they're outnumbered by 30, but their strategy here does not play like they're outnumbered by 30. It looks like they think that they outnumber the enemy. And when I was leading, the percentage of men you had over the enemy, the total amount, the fact that the Yankees have 118 men, that's a sufficient amount to defend most positions. See all the guys stand up at the same time. Yeah, that is
Ooh.
yeah. Buck and ball is also, you saw the buck and ball really effective there. The amount of men and the percentage comparative, is very important, and the attackers don't seem to care about that right now. So yeah.
You got to think though, the CSA is gonna mass charge at some point. They're gonna charge at some point. Why do you have guys? In
Yeah. It's gonna be too late though. They're gonna start mass charging when there's 5 minutes left, and that'll be too late. By that point, the Union, like, I mean, look at the sheer quantity of men here.
We saw
Like, this is a lot.
So we were saying that the CSA was being aggressive last game, which they were at the beginning. However, they were just getting up to the forest, and then they got to the forest, and were just satisfied to shoot them down. Maybe they're thinking, oh, we got to our positions, we shot them down in one last game, so let's just do the same thing.
Yeah, but I think the difference between the two games is that in last game, the Union were more than happy to charge out into the forest like 5 times, which I would say is cool. Push the Confederates back for a minute, but ultimately helped the Confederates ticket-wise. What the fuck? Where does it say that? Where does it say that? What the fuck? What the fuck is this?
That timing was impeccable.
83rd be like, yes. We have no shots, sorry. We have been independent firing at the stone wall for the last 20 minutes, so we can't even shoot you anymore. Confederate saying taking losses at 1943.
I'm sorry, that's a phenomenal moment. They pulled out, got their ball off. I mean, Union's still unengaged with 20 minutes left with CSA taking losses. This is still a spectacular job. I don't know if it's a... See, I say spectacular job on the Union's part, but really, what is the... There's only one strategy for the Union on this map, and that's hold the fence on the left, stone wall in the middle. That's all they're doing, and they're doing exactly that. They're doing what they have to do to win. The CSA is just... not doing anything.
The only thing the Union have done that's different is to have a couple skirmishes over here, which we don't see very often. And of course, when you're outnumbering the enemy by like 30, this is exactly what you want, is to spread them out like this. So the Union are using their superior numbers to their advantage. When last time we saw them, they did not use their superior numbers to their advantage. We saw them, staying clumped up. We saw them, like especially with the 24th. We remember them holding over there on the mound and being extremely close together and missing most of their volleys. So yeah, the enemy over here, the enemy to the Union here, it seems to be less so the Confederates and more so their own team members who are dying on the line. And that's really the only thing that could lead them to lose right now, is that, especially with the Confederate strategy of, yes, today we shall shoot dirt.
Do you have bodies on, by the way?
Bodies on?
Yeah, like that body. What is it called? Body count on here?
Should I turn it down?
Would that help?
Look, I don't know. I am getting pretty long. Oh, it is at 150. I'll turn down like 25. It shouldn't affect much because I do have the body collision off. Confederates charging. Looks like just the 10th US again. 10th US charging like an hour and a half before the 63rd. Completely, almost half of them, 2/3 of them dying to the first score in the first 10 seconds. Artillery shot bouncing off the ground, killing like 4 people and exploding somewhere over there. Couldn't tell where. Over there, that's where the artillery shot exploded. And the 83rd, you're able to get here a little bit too late for the party. And
hey, that was
okay, now the 7th gets here. What the fuck is this? What the fuck? He hasn't even tried grouping up before the charge.
A
is like
attack that comes in slowly, trickling in, gives the Union perfect time to at least somewhat withstand the attack. And then along with that, call their brethren on the right flank over to hold. And now
what we still see here is that, yeah, the Confederates who were alive, they did outnumber the Union here. They came in, like you said, in 3 different times. It was just horrible. I'm sorry, that was like the worst charge I've seen on this map in a while. Because it's okay. Again, you hit there, explode there. That get the fuse right, guys. Come on.
And now CSA needs to be charging down the Union right if they have guys still back at the stone wall. Because I bet Union pulled their guys over there, but now it's too late because Union can pull back there. We kind of...
Yeah, maybe that's what they were trying. The 8th Ohio... I'm sorry, there's a lot of guys over here. And what are they doing? They're shooting at the stone wall. Time to hit the... Guys, we need to shoot... We don't understand. We need to shoot the stone wall. We need to hit the dirt. We need to hit the dirt, please!
We can break buildings.
Yeah, please.
That would be actually kind of cool, though, if you, like, shot something enough, it would fall. Imagine a tree falling on a line.
Yeah, that would be very awesome. However, I do understand that there's, like, gimmick abilities. I do imagine
there was a streamer I was watching to go. I can't remember what game it was, but what he said was the imagine one day, eventually we'll get to a point where every game and every computer, oh nice, little shrapnel shot killing too there, we will see a time and place where every game will have that, like realistic physics, where if you shoot something enough and it'll realistically break in time, you know? Like, yeah, if you probably shoot this thing like 50 times, like right in the same spot, then you'll probably fall down. Like in like maybe 30 years or so, that might be possible. Like for every computer to actually have that, every game, right? I don't know, maybe it'll take even longer than that.
Yeah, that'd be, imagine we get to a point where all PCs... Poor dude!
Dude, that guy ran right on top of it. Like,
yeah, he was like, take me.
what we see here is that the shrapnel shots, they're hitting like 1 or 2 people per hit. But if they just moved it over a little bit, like literally a degree to the right, the artillery would be 1,000 times more effective. However, the rebel artillery has a really hard time seeing anywhere right at that stone wall. So they just need to, you know, try something different. Of course, they literally could just press their D key for like a quarter second and get 10 times the kills per shot. You know, ain't gonna do much though when you don't know they're there, when you can't see them from 200 yards away, 300 yards away. So yeah, I can see
CSA pushing up through the woods, bushes. I don't know if you want to count that as a woods.
like, yeah, it's like 3v10. It's like 3v30. Yeah. I can see it, a possibility where the Union win or the Union lose here. Union taking losses at 14:30. It's possible. It is a thing that could happen. I just think that at this current rate, unless the Confederates actually start grouping up and charging at the same time for once, all we see here is that it seems like the 7th and the 10th are the only people who actually want to be aggressive, and everybody else just wants to sit back. And they're facing off against a foe in the first score, the what's the number of the GA? 24th Georgia, and what other group is on this team? The PB. I'm sorry, yeah, the PB who've been holding this middle, and they've been able to move over. It's been hard for them to attack anywhere, especially when it looks like the majority strategy of the Confederacy is sit on the stone wall and wait for the timer to go down so we can just like, get over with this event. You know?
Honestly, if you wanted to get the event over, you would match. If we see it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think the guys are too tired to actually try, and I think that's what we're seeing.
Maybe. But you never know. You never know. It is a Saturday night. It's the middle of the weekend.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Usually Saturday is the prime. Usually Saturday is the prime war of rights night, I would say. For.
Oh, Confederates not charging over here with like 5 people. Nice job, guys. Yeah, look at this shit. What the fuck? And they still have guys like reloading back there? I'm sorry, these Confederates aren't trying.
This is
I'm just saying, I think that's wrong.
walk. This isn't a charge.
Yeah, when I said like charging, I said like charging, not walking.
Oh, that sucks. And unfortunately, it was not coordinated. I've seen this a couple times, a lot. It's a very sad thing to see. So what was it? The Piper House? Or was it Pry House?
Piper Farm? There's Piper Farm and Pry House.
Pry House? Yeah.
Pry House is the one with McClellan's HQ.
The CSA had point, and the regiments were supposed to group up and charge together. Or that's what one group heard, and the one group charged out by themselves to retake point, like 8 of them against the whole CSA team. They might have all died.
Oh, I was gonna say that the Confederates finally found out a way to hit that fence, and the Union aren't there anymore. Oh man, that hurts. Because if they had done that shot like 10 minutes ago, that would have been a lot better than what we just saw.
But at least they're
again,
adapting.
this is a very small map. Possibly, if the Union hit taking losses soon, maybe we would see something happen. I wouldn't hold my hopes so if I was a Confederate. Because especially with looks like the only charge that the 8th Ohio participated in the whole game was a walk down this road so they can die. I just think that the coordination between the groups, what we saw last game, was phenomenal, or at least it looked great. Confederates didn't break them. It looked great and it looks like they were punching above their weight numbers-wise, right? But now what we see is that it's much more usual. in that it's between 6 different groups. It's very hard to organize the time to charge because you have a lot of people in that Steam chat. So I would not be holding any hope for the Confederates here. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, they haven't. I mean, they haven't charged a lot, and when they have charged, it isn't organized, and I don't think that it'll magically change going forward. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. You never know. Union was creeping back up last round. CSA was still able to hold in a win. It's not like the Union is in a position where they 100% have won the game.
Yeah, they still need to get to the next 10 minutes or so without, somehow miraculously dropping 2 morale stages and losing all of their positions. But again, what we see here is that what I say a lot is the anxiety to attack. People lose a charge and then think erroneously that the wrong decision they made there was the fact that they charged in the first place. Wow, they even got guys like charging. He thinks got team kill. Yeah, it says Mr. Hero says sorry, man. Wow, that's I'm sorry. One guy charges you, and I think they kill more of their own men. Whatever. That was really stupid. This is just, I don't know. Like, sure, I understand. At number 30, it's hard. That doesn't mean, all right, today just do not charge, and when we do charge like this. This is a horrible looking charge, especially when the enemy has buck and ball. Candace shall kill like 4 there.
At least the CSA has a decent charge coming. At least a decent charge.
Yeah, a decent number of men certainly. Of course, now it's pretty much petered out. They have guys shooting. It's over for the Confederates. They already died. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you're outnumbered by 30.
And you're spread out over the entire map. When you're at number 30, the exact opposite thing you should be doing is spreading out everywhere. You have to choose your battles. You have to group up somewhere. Anywhere, literally at one position and charge, and that's even true when you're outnumbering people. Like if I ever see the attackers win when they outnumber the defender, what I know immediately is, oh, they failed to simply press T and then go near each other and then charge from that same position. If you enter a melee with more men than the enemy, you will win. All other things being, what we see here is that when they enter melee. They start off the charge. Again, they started that charge with less men than the Union had here. The Union have like 30 men, 40 men here. They started off that charge with like 20. They were never going to win that. Because you lose like 10, 20% of your guys in the charge. You have to start the charge with more men than they have, and you have to enter the melee with more men than they have. That's the only way to win a melee. Of course, unless they, all the things being equal, unless extenuating circumstances, right?
Yeah.
So...
I guess at least they tried something compared to what they've been doing most of the game, which is nothing. But
yeah.
I mean, give them props for that. But however, 8 minutes left. Union's on taking losses. CSA is at breaking. We'll see. This would be fun.
Oh, I see people in chat. People are saying like "fuck you, 10th US." Well, clearly, I'm sorry. It looks like there's some drama going on between the 8th and the 10th.
It was the maybe is 8th on the left here or?
Yeah, 8th on the left. 10th on the right. Maybe they're blowing each other.
I don't know, because we can see that there's 2 very different strategies at play here, and I wonder if the CSA is arguing over what to do. And
yeah, I guess I'll have to ask during debrief.
Yeah, I mean that's what it kind of looks like, because half the team is being aggressive, half the team isn't, and even like. The fact that they're outnumbered by 25 plus 2, I think adds surmountably to this failure. But time will tell. We'll see. 7 minutes.
Yeah, they were able to pull it out the last round. I think that means that they captured the town. However, it looks like they are not going to be able to win that much, whatever money, whatever this means. Whatever. The campaign. Again, the Union, it does look like they captured the town, but not the rest of it. So... Introsant, right? I wonder what the
Union campaign team, correct?
Yes, the Union campaign team. So again, I should remind everybody that the people playing Confederacy right now are the Union in the campaign. People playing Union are Confederacy in the campaign. The reason being is that the Union attacked the Confederacy. And the maps they rolled, it just so happened that the Confederates are attacking. So the Union are playing Confederates in the campaign. House divided campaign. Where the house is divided and cannot stand.
Oh, I get it why it's called house divided, because they live in the same area and they're divided.
A house divided against itself cannot stand. This government cannot endure half slave and half free.
I rise, Mr. President.
Yeah, also General Civil War Gaming. Man, I should do a speed. No, fuck, I got AP test next week. I was about to say I should do a speed run of that. Yeah.
Guys,
Oh
speed run of
yeah, I
Ultimate
should plug that. Hey guys, if anybody's watching now, go check out the Ultimate General Civil War on speedrun.com.
Speedrun.com.
Yeah, I currently have the rebounds mod world record, while somebody else just took the base game world record from me. Why the fuck is it? Why the fuck are they not shooting
charge,
canister?
they're so spread out though, and again they're outnumbered by them. It looks like they're just doing it themselves, which again
Looks like everybody's charging,
hey.
but they're spread out. Like this is not gonna work just because you're spread out. In every single one of those engagements, they are outnumbered by the enemy. Confederates in the final push. There's a couple minutes.
Yep, we're down to whopping 2 minutes and 5 seconds now. I'm changing the timer quickly. That dropped a decent amount.
Yes, because this is a very small map, so the time to sprint from main to up here is nothing. If the Confederates are getting reloads, they're screwed.
Now this is definitely the end of the CSA. They're taking their time. Some of them, nope, they're going. Bayonets and going. They got time for 2 charges.
If they, well, a little bit less.
Fair, yeah, 2.
I'm sorry. If you're spawning on flag with 1 minute and 30 left in the game, you got something wrong with you in your mind. I'm sorry. And
now they're slowly trickling in by themselves.
This isn't horrible because you're gonna bait a couple shots. If you go all the way up and start meleeing, it's horrible. But if you start baiting their shots, it can be effective. Cannoning some of their own men. Again, why the fuck are they shooting K-shot? What the fuck do they think they're doing? Union are hitting breaking now. If the Confederates are able to start winning on point, numbers-wise, you're gonna have to start doing something.
They aren't
but
charging
just look at the sheer
point, though.
Yeah, they are charging very far away from it.
They might be able to win. At least the
Yeah,
corner,
okay.
the tip of the corner.
Yeah, they might be able to get that corner.
Because the rest of the Union is not moving over there, which I kind of don't know why they're not.
Union seem to be winning on the corner again. There's 40 seconds left, 47, for them to get over there onto that point and start overpowering them. If they outnumber them on point, then they win. You know, like it's one of those maps where you just got to start getting the overtime. If you get the overtime, yeah,
right.
you have the Union over here. All they gotta do is hold them where they are. They don't even gotta win this minute. They just gotta keep them where they are. Looks like they're gonna be able to do that. The Confederates gotta go through the open field over there right now. They gotta stop charging over here and start charging over there. 30 seconds left in the game. There's probably just enough time for like these respawns to even touch. Like if they go through the open field, they will start to touch the thing when the time ends. Fuck you, guys. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're retarded. Kill yourself. You're retarded. I'm sorry. Fuck you. There's 5 seconds left.
You got a charge point, guys.
I'm mad. Okay, we can see.
Yeah, you got a charge point. That's the end of the round. That'll do it. USA is able to secure the win. Sevy, now your thoughts on this round, and I have a question too. What do you think the 30 plus players the Union had this round had to do with their victory?
Okay, I think the 30 plus players. Obviously, that is again people. That is one of the more even maps in Harper's Ferry, and I would even say with a higher amount of player counts, it goes a little more even. But that's a small map. The Confederates have buck and ball. So did the Union do, but the Confederates should be able to actually do more. The Confederates extremely disorganized. Like not within their own groups, but like team-wise. Look at this. Staying on this wall the entire game. That is stupid. Shooting in the last minute of the game. What the fuck? We can see here that yes, I understand it's a Union-wise map, but what they did there is on the campaign the losses matter. So we can see here that all they did was just drive up their own losses for nothing. Every time one of those groups charged by themselves, it was a waste of time. 300 more losses than the again, swap seams. So the Union campaign there lost 300 more losses. That is insanity. That should never happen. It is 300.
Yeah, and you forget. Yeah, it's a campaign too, and I forgot that losses come into play. and be huge down the line.
I saw the server say in chat, CSA gay, USA still wins the war. So I guess the admins, who, they got the US team are the admins. I understand it's hard, but that does not excuse you to just sit on a stone wall the entire game. When the map is against you, you have to adapt. You have to say, okay, where can we actually get some advantage for ourselves? Where can we outnumber them? If we all group up in this area, we can probably charge them on this flank before they're able to move. Instead of doing that, they said, okay, instead, half of us are going to actually try to be aggressive and win the game, and the other half are going to try to sit on a stone wall. They captured the town, but they took a shit ton of losses that second game. Sure, for the campaign, I guess it's technically still a Union victory, a Northern victory. Again, Union as in the guys who are playing Confederates. But overall, I think that the first map was in the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes, it was a great showing for the North and what they could do. And on the second map, they just, we're at number 30, we're going to complain today. So whatever. I don't know. I just think wasted opportunity. That's what I imagine.
Especially with casualties, maybe it was better if the CSA, if they couldn't agree and you have to consider taking casualties, I would have just sat back and volleyed the Union the whole game and not do these independent charges if casualties matter. I understand, like, trying to win the map. However, if your whole team isn't going to charge, especially when you're outnumbered by 25, I think you got to just sit back and shoot them down.
I will have to agree with that 110% in that in the long run, it would have been viable to simply say, okay, guys, it's a campaign. We're not going to win this round. We're number 30. Let's just, But instead, they half tried. The guys on the Stonewall tried enough to lose a substantial amount of men just volleying. I don't even know how they managed that. And the guys on the right, they were aggressive. If everybody had been, sticking to one plan, I'm sure they would have done a lot better. They didn't need to win that round, right? In a campaign, you don't need to win that round. All they needed to do was take even losses, or maybe try to charge. I still believe they could have won that round. Obviously, you're the attackers. Sure, you're outnumbered by a little bit, but if you didn't have men in artillery, it would have only been like a 10-minute outnumbering most of the game, because artillery is useless. So I'm just gonna say it. We every time we saw the hit, you can count the hits on one hand. Whatever. It just
maybe 10, 15
the
kills
Union. The Union, who are Confederate in the campaign, I think they played well enough at that second round. They pretty much did everything they needed to do. I think that they stayed in the open a little bit too long in certain areas, and they engaged. What I think is that I think they had a little bit too many men on their right flank, and it got a little bit dicey on the Union left at certain points. The Confederates were close to capturing the left stone wall at some points. Again, the left being the Union left. But what I think is that we saw is that the Union were just able to use their superior numbers, spread out extremely thin, not extremely thin, spread out across the entire map. Mm-hmm. And the Confederates was like, okay, they're spread out across the entire map. Let's also spread out across the entire map. And that's not how you win the game. So I know I'm talking for a long time. Sure, they outnumbered by 30. That makes it against their favor. But standing back on the stone wall and doing nothing the whole game, unless your entire team agrees, okay, this is like. Okay, I'm going to double back myself again. I'm sorry to keep doing this. However, the fucking in a campaign, there's one token who's in charge here. I don't exactly know which token that was. Was it none of the tokens who were in that battle? Because it seemed like there was some disagreement in chat. I think it was the 3rd New Jersey token, according to somebody in chat. But I didn't see a 3rd New Jersey in game, so I don't know how to think about that.
There was it was 17th Michigan and 3rd New Jersey, their ticket. So
I see somebody saying something about lives not mattering in chat.
The 3rd New Jersey and the 17th were both in game. However, the 3rd New Jersey had 4 guys and the 17th had 5 to 7 guys. So
okay, and it was the 3rd New Jersey's piece. It's open.
3rd New Jersey's and the 17th Michigan's.
Okay, I imagine then that they just I don't know. It seems there's a lot of disagreement. I just I don't know what to think. I think that the Union played well enough. The Union, again, being the Confederates in the campaign, and the Confederates in the battle, Union in the campaign. First round was amazing on their end. I gotta stop talking because I could talk literally for an hour about that because I just saw so much to talk about. Maybe we should wait for the interview, I guess.
Yeah, we'll talk about that and more in the post-game interview. Let's get going with that. All right, everyone. Here we go with our post-game interview. We have from the Union campaign, we have Wolf from the 83rd Pennsylvania, whereas from the Pickett's Brigade, we have Legion Bophesis, who are both on the CSA campaign group. We're just going to be asking some questions about both rounds tonight. And with that being said, our first question is to the Union campaign group. So, Wolf, what was the Union's plan going into the first round, and what was your reaction to the ever-changing battlefield?
So when we went into the first round, prior to, we came up with the idea that the best way forward, obviously, was the usual one. We were just going to go straight up the hill through the woods, use the woods as cover, and make our advance that way. We surprisingly met a little bit of resistance at the top, not too much. It fizzled out pretty quickly once it met any, like, basically the beginning of our force. I think a lot of it fell back or died, and we just kept on pushing from there. And when we got up to the top of the hill, I gave the call that the 83rd was just going to send all the way down to the bottom and come around the backside of the camp, and we were going to take up firing positions there. The idea behind that initially was the 83rd was one of the largest groups that showed up tonight. I thought that we would be able to get a good bit of attention making that move, and we could cause a shift in the CSA line to meet us. Initially, not too much moved. I think there was a lot of holding on the hill and forming lines to combat us in the woods, and eventually, they worked their way down to firing at us. Towards the end, I would say, or mid to end, we got a lot more of the result that we were looking for. We saw regiments shift down to meet us, especially towards the end when it came up to the post rail to meet us. At that point, I communicated in the officer chat, hey, let's try something different. Let's see if we can get it going in another area. Everyone concluded that we were gonna try to go for that corner right there where the earthworks were, and the 83rd rallied back up at the top of the hill. We coordinated the push, went in, and got the result that we were looking for. After that, we kind of decided the best thing was to pull back in case we met a response, because I don't think we all agreed that we weren't going to be able to handle a follow-up. So we pulled back, waited to see what they did. I think the CSA, for the most part, decided to reinforce. We came up with a new plan. This time, the 83rd was going to go back through the woods and kind of come in through the rear of where that corner was. The other guys, obviously, were going to make a full frontal on that position, and it worked again. And I think it really gave us the edge that we needed to close out that map and make the play on the point at the end to cap it off.
All right. Thank you for that. Same question as CSA campaign group. So the Legion and both Cephas. You guys were playing Union. What was your strategy going into the game, and how did you react to the ever-changing battlefield?
Yeah, so I led the first one. Bocephus led the second map there. So we were playing Union because we were defending on the campaign board, and the Union defends on those maps. Our initial plan, we kind of figured they were going to go Union playing as CSA. We figured they were going to go up through the wood line. That's usually the strategy on that map, is to try to go around the earthworks and come in from the flank. So what we did is we kind of deployed our units to be prepared for that. It's kind of rough being up there because you're sort of in the open. There's not a ton of cover up there. They did a good job at going up. We saw them extend over the hill and back behind a little bit more. So we detached the unit and deployed them further right down the hill to kind of counter that. Initially, I think honestly everything felt really good. We were playing with 24th Georgia and I-Corps. I think we were well coordinated. We were in position to support each other. It felt like we were doing well throughout the gunfight. We had a pretty strong line, from left to right down on the map. I think that ultimately it felt like for the most of the map, it felt like we were checking everything that we needed to. Our biggest goal was to try to keep them out from the camp, keep them out from getting out of the woods and into the tents and turning it into like that camp fight through the tents and the wagons there. Everything was going well. Obviously, tickets are not necessarily in our favor in that map. So we were doing our best to try to take cover in areas where there's not a lot of cover. I think the units that we were playing with did a good job at that. They did a great job. The opposing side did a great job at kind of using the wood line. They played a little bit more passive than we thought they would. We figured that they would be more aggressive. They eventually started getting aggressive. Like Wolf stated, they did push that corner. We did counter that, I think, pretty well. They did get a foothold there, and I think we did a good job at kind of keeping them where we wanted them, and keeping in, relation to one another to support each other, the units on our side. We got our cannons over there. Usually cannons on that map are not super useful. We were able to get them into positions to fire canister and shells down into the woods. I think our artillery did a good job, and our infantry was positioned around the guns to try to keep them, operational as much as they could. Overall, I think really we did really well on the map. I think overall we did exactly what we wanted to do. I think the biggest mistake that we made on that map is at the end we decided to, when we went into our last stand or whatever, we decided to kind of pull back to the point and defend there. I think if we would have held at least some of us in the forward position to kind of check them a little bit so they weren't able to just steamroll down and get to the point, I think we would have had maybe a little more success. But ultimately, overall, I mean, what we wanted to do, 95% of what we wanted to do went the way we wanted it to. So, my hat's off to the Union guys for being conservative on a map like that, where, usually guys are aggressive. But ultimately, I mean, I wouldn't have done it any other way.
So I got a slight question. So on that first round, you guys had 20 men in artillery, and like 7 of those guys were just directed at counter batterying the whole game. I believe that those extra, 19, 20 rifles would have been more than enough to change the game in your guys' favor. Do you disagree with me on that, or like do you think that having the men in artillery was completely worth it, like 20 full men?
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. It's hard to tell arty guys they can't play arty. You know what I mean? Obviously, they
I know
want
that,
they
yeah.
want to play artillery. I think that we utilize the cannons a lot more effectively than most units do playing those maps. Some people just abandon the cannons on that map. So one of the things we wanted to prevent was having their artillerymen come up and turn our own guns on us. So we wanted to keep guys on the cannons and utilize them against the troops that were in the woods there. So, I mean, you don't need a million guys to run a gun, but like I said, if arty guys want to play arty, that's fine. And I don't think it took away too many rifles from the fight. Like I said, our line felt strong up until the very end. So I think we did a great job fighting them off in the woods. We did exactly what we wanted to do. We actually thought we were going to be pushed back further, and we had contingency plans for that. But ultimately, I don't think having that many guys on already really, messed up our plan overall.
Yeah, I mean, Union outnumbered a lot tonight as well, so I don't think.
Yeah, I just I guess I disagree with you on strategy there. But I mean, I guess how we know unless we guess we play another event is the exact same people. But yeah.
No, we'll see. I had a question for the Union on the first map too. There was a lot of charging into the woods on the Union right, so way into the camp. The Union was charging into the woods. There was also a lot of ramboing happening down there. Do you guys know what was up with that, or were you guys just up on the top and didn't see that?
On our side,
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw that or knew what
I
was
think
going
some
on.
of the units down there got kind of excited when you're standing in a field and you got guys shooting at you from the woods. Obviously, they have better cover, so sometimes you get the urge to close the ground and kind of take that advantage away from them. I think ultimately we did our best to try to keep everyone in the line that we wanted to. Obviously, some commanders get excited. I've done it in the past. I know a lot of us have done it in the past. You just see an opportunity and you want to try to exploit it. But for the most part, our right side line ended up holding. I think they did end up holding their position down on that straight rail, and they even got charged one time there and held off the attack.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. That's a good answer. I like that. So yeah, with that being said, we'll move on to the second round here. Start with the Union campaign. So the CSA for the second round. Wolf, what was your guys' strategy going into the second round, and how did you guys react to the ever-changing battlefield?
So the initial plan when we went into it was to obviously set up on our side as the CSA often does of the graveyard and start taking up different methods of fire. The other part to the plan was to make an advance on the right side as well to try to bait out the Union side into coming over and getting on that post rail fence. They did it a couple times, but I don't think it was enough for us to maybe capitalize on the way that we thought we were going to be able to. But we thought if we got enough presence on the right side that we would basically force their hand over there, and we figured that the way that they would respond was just by throwing guys over to the rail and just taking up fire downhill, while we sat back and just waited for the movement at the wall and just picked them apart. I don't know. I thought personally going into it that it was a decent strategy to use. I would say that execution didn't work out as good as we thought, and I also would say that like on multiple occasions we didn't particularly get the results that we wanted to, which led to a shifting of different kind of ideas. And towards the end, I mean, towards the middle, towards and the end, it was. I'll be honest, it was a lot of straw pulling on our side. We didn't really know what to do because there wasn't a lot working. I remember mentioning to the other officers at some point when I was on my respawn screen that there was basically a Union line from one side of the map all the way to the other. Like all you saw was Union bricks from one side all the way to the other side, like even down into like the valley and the crevice of the hill and stuff. So, like I said, like towards the end, there wasn't really much that we could come up with. It was a lot of pulling at straws. Some people thought that the left side pushes would work. We tried that out. Initially, there was some resistance to it, even with my own regiment. We saw a cannon down there, and we didn't think that it was the best idea to run headfirst into a cannon that, without a doubt, had canister loaded. At the same time, some people thought it was a good idea. The 83rd, like I said, was one of the bigger regiments tonight. So we basically settled on the fact that if we didn't assist, there was no point even sending a charge because there wouldn't be that much numbers to it. So we would join in often. I just don't think we got any traction on either side of the field, and it ended the way that it did.
Yeah. So so during the recording, I think I was a bit critical of the people in Confederate Union campaign there, in that at least when I would have played, it would have been more, I think, everybody grouping up and everybody attacking a small group. However, I don't know, because like I don't know exactly what you guys saw on the ground. If you could go back and like change the strategy that you guys went into that second round with, how would you change it, or would you try to be more defensive or more aggressive?
I would have liked to at least tried a better attempt, I would say, at that right side push. Whether it
Mhm.
came from the bottom of the hill or it came down the road, not really particular about the method that it was executed in, but I would have liked to see a little bit more action on the right. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of left side pushes for the CSA on there because you don't really have many places to go. There's not a lot of room to spread out in. You're basically up against the Union and a cliff. So I'm not a big fan of the left side. I
Yeah,
think
I've
a
heard
lot
that a
better.
lot.
I
Yeah.
think a lot better work can be done on the right, especially if you can gain ground there and start basically forcing the Union back off of what would be their left side on that map, to a point where you could take that basically the in where the two walls intersect. If the CSA can take that side, I think it's usually I've seen that play out very well for them. But yeah, we couldn't get far enough to seize that position. Uh, I would say, and it led to what it did. Like I said.
Hmm.
I have another question too. So you guys were outnumbered by 25 to 30 people going into that second round. You won the first round, you took the town, and the second round was just fought over resources, from my understanding. So did the thought ever come to your guys' mind to just sit back, have a shootout for 45 minutes, just knock down tickets evenly, and not try to risk doing these loose charges and losing a bunch of tickets like what ended up happening?
There was a lot of back and forth about what we should do about the imbalance that we noticed, especially after the end of the first match. Um, yeah, there was definitely a lot of conversation around what would be the way forward. Some people recommended pinging the CSA and asking for basically a group of guys to come over so that things would be balanced going into the fight. Um, I'll admit I'm a little bit of a firebrand, so I guess me and a couple individuals took a rather cocky perspective, and we thought, okay, well, we got them on the first round, so we got them on their heels. Let's see what we can do on the second. Let's just roll with it. And like I said, I think thinking now, hindsight is 20/20, but thinking on it now, it was probably a more cocky decision to say we're going to take on 30. We're going to take on 25, 30 extra guys and see what we can do. But yeah, like I said, if I could go back and change something, I probably would have changed that decision in hindsight.
Yeah, because I'm sure that would have been a 30-man imbalance is definitely something that most groups would be more than willing to move men over for.
Like I said, I mean, I had this conversation. I had this conversation with the 42nd the other day. It was unrelated to balancing issues, but at the end of the day, we all came to the agreement of the rules that we were going to abide by when we joined the campaign as regiments. Whether you're CSA or Union, it doesn't really matter. With this event, a lot of our regiments, I feel like we come to play. We're not really picky about too much. I would say rule enforcement. That's really why the 83rd found its place here with the HDC. In particular, is because in a lot of other events, they seemed to be like a bombardment of rules that you had to play by on the battlefield specifically, and it just wasn't conducive to the play style that we liked and we wanted to play with. So, I mean, to answer your question, I guess I feel as though with the imbalance, yes, it's rough to play against, but you'll live. There's always more fighting to be done.
Mm-hmm. That's for certain.
Yeah. And now we'll be moving on to the campaign CSAs, so the people that played Union tonight, Legion, Bocephus. What was your guys' strategy going into the second round, and how did you react to the ever-changing battlefield?
Yeah, so strategy was what I'd probably consider a pretty textbook Union strategy. Now, going into this, there was a secondary consideration beyond, just what are we going to do? Because we knew that piece only had 500-something guys, so we couldn't. That was in the back of our mind the entire time. We didn't want to lose the piece because if for those not familiar with the campaign, each piece starts with a certain number of things, so you can win the battle in theory and then lose your piece, and that becomes a bigger loss, in the grand scheme of the campaign if your piece is wiped, because it costs resources to buy the piece, it costs resources to bring men in. So trying to preserve your piece was definitely in the strategy here. But I think we played it. The strategy was basically we had three groups. I-Corps, I think, typically has two sides to it, two sections to it, so they could kind of split up a little bit. So we had them, set up on left, right, and then, center, kind of basically. PB was floating left and right on that. But, basically we were just watching to see which way the CSA was going to go and react from there. As playing that map more from the CSA perspective than Union perspective, I know typically the best way to do that is if the CSA can overwhelm one side or the other, one unit, beat them to the punch in some place and get a foothold, even if it's not for the whole round, just getting a foothold, and the Union has to throw away a lot of tickets that they don't necessarily have to try and, get them off that foothold. So that we wanted to try and prevent that from happening. Another thing that we took into consideration is the CSA already has a really good shot on there. So they were, and props to them tonight because they were landing some good shots tonight from what I could see. So we had to kind of keep our men spaced out as best we could because you can't really abandon that wall, but you don't also want to just stack them deep and have 8-10 guys get blown up by Artie in one shot. So that's not a good idea. But I would say basically our overall strategy was to just array our forces in such a way that we had a line basically along the whole front, and then just react to wherever they came. If they push right, we shift to right. If they push left, we shift to left. They got down into that that the valley on what is the Union left, CSA right. And I did see what they were trying to do, where they were trying to get us to go up to the fence. There was a little miscommunication on my end when we had some guys run up to the fence, but we fixed that and saw what they were trying to do there to try and get us to trade tickets equally. So we were trying to get back a little bit from them and not let them get those easy ticket kills. I think we ultimately pushed them off that left. But, then from that point, it was just reacting left, right, and, just trying to dodge the Artie as best as possible. That was really our overall strategy. And I think it worked pretty well. The groups we played with, 24th Georgia and I-Corps, were well coordinated with us. I mean, obviously there was the number imbalance. That's unfortunate. It's happened before. It's whenever you play these big events, sometimes numbers get a little wonky. But props to them for sticking out and playing the whole thing. So the CSA, which is the Union campaign. But that's pretty much it.
Savvy, you have any questions?
Well, I do. I mean, the Union on that second round, I think that they displayed it very textbook, very well, shifting around very quickly. And, what I said during the video, and I think it should be mentioned now, is that having those skirmishes on the far left and spreading out the line extremely thin, or not extremely thin, but like actually having the Union across the whole map, basically in a big line, that was essentially everything that you guys needed to do. I think you guys did it very well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Is there any comments or questions that anyone wants to ask anyone before we call it for a night?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
All right. Sweet. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Socials of all the regiments that participate in this video will be in the description. The House Divided Campaigns Discord will be in the description as well if you wanted to check that out. Maybe have your regiment join it. And everyone in this VC will have their socials in the description as well, so check them out too. And with that being said, please like, comment, share, subscribe for more. Hope to see you guys in the future one. Have a good day, night, whatever. See ya.